Everyone talks to getting to $100,000 for your farm is the finish line. Get to 100K and you've made it. You're a real farm business now, you've made 100K. I'm going to spend this entire video talking about what $100,000 actually means, because I feel like in this farming space there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of false comparisons, and especially here on YouTube, a lot of people showing you what they want you to see and not necessarily talking about the reality of farming. This isn't meant to be a downer. Actually, at the very end, I think you're going to find that this is a really positive thing. And this is a conversation I wish someone would have had with me when I started farming 10 years ago. Let's get into it. So 100K on the farm, that is a huge milestone. That is not to belittle that at all. But an important thing is 100K is revenue. It's not profit. And then to take that even further, profit does not equal freedom. Many farmers who hit that $100,000 number are shocked when they find out what the expenses are to actually get to that number. And then they're even more shocked when they find out what it takes to build a life on that amount of money. So this module is intended to kind of close that loop, just being honest, no hype. So first, let's talk about revenue versus profits. $100,000 for most farms sounds amazing, sounds life-changing, but for most farms it isn't. Not yet anyways. Operating costs to run your farm eat into that number big time, especially if you're starting out. Feed, bedding, maintenance, processing fees, replacements of the animals themselves, packaging, marketing, subscriptions. It's a lot. And, a farm doing $100,000 in revenue, but that has $80,000 in cost, well, they're making a $20,000 profit. And for many people, that would be the same or less than a part-time job. The real question you have to ask yourself about the farm is not how much money did we bring in, it's how much money did we keep. Then there's a hidden cost that farms and really a lot of businesses in general don't account for. When you leave your W-2 job or at your full-time job, you have things like healthcare. Even though you have to pay for some of it, and I'll acknowledge it may not be the best sometimes, you have it. It's a benefit that is way better than if you don't have it. And I say this as someone who works in healthcare. Retirement savings. Many full-time positions or jobs, W-2 jobs, have retirement that they either match what you're doing or they put some away for you. Obviously, there used to be pensions. I don't know that that's much of a thing anymore. But in either case, you're getting some money from the company to save for your retirement. And this is one of those things that if you're not doing the W-2 and you're just doing a business like a farm or anything else, nobody's doing that for you anymore. You have to make enough to then cover that as well. Taxes, that's a real cost. Sure, there are benefits to owning a business, depreciation, writing stuff off, but at the same time, we want to get profitable. And to be profitable means you're going to be paying taxes. I'm not a tax professional, lawyer, any of that stuff, but I am saying as a farm who's done this, set aside some money for taxes, because come April, if you owe taxes and you don't have that money from the money you made from the farm, you don't have some set aside, that could be a big problem. You can find yourself really underwater owing a big bill. Equipment replacement. That's a real thing on the farm. Yes, there's depreciation you can do for your taxes, but it also actually depreciates, meaning you're going to have to spend money to maintain that equipment, to replace parts, possibly replace the equipment at some point. When you're thinking of not just revenue, but profit, keeping the equipment in the farm running. When we're talking about revenue versus profit, that's going to cut into your profit, is taking money to keep the farm running, to replace this equipment, to service this equipment. And then I've said it a million times and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, your labor is an expense. If you want to track it, how much you're making an hour, great, then that's the expense of the employee you're paying within the business. But it is an expense. And if you never count the hours you work, you can't really make a good decision on whether it's worth those hours. So what does $100,000 on your farm really require? Depending on how your farm's set up, we're a livestock farm. That means a lot of animals and a lot of labor hours. The question for your farm isn't, can I sell $100,000 worth of stuff? The question is, can we sustain an operation that produces 100K without burning out and without going broke? For many farms, to produce a livable income on the farm, if that's your goal, you're looking at 2, 3, 400K, 400,000-ish to then have enough left over to live off that income. And some farmers will say it's more than that. It really depends. Again, this is different for every farm. It depends on your lifestyle, your bills, debt, kids. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Some people can live off 40,000 a year. Some people need 200,000 a year. That's something you have to judge for yourself, but it's just to drive home the point that it's not about the money that's coming in. You have to make a whole lot more than that in order to count the amount you're keeping as profit and to support your lifestyle. So if you're trying to make money on your farm, which we all are, here's some truths that I've learned about the farming timeline. Farms do not get to 100,000 in year 1 or year 2. That's just not really a thing. I mean, there's probably somebody has, but in general, you're not going to get there in year 1 or 2, but that's completely normal. That is expected. It would be very abnormal to hit those numbers in the first or second year. And part of getting to that number is making mistakes, going through reps, learning what to do, what not to do. Also, we've talked about, a lot of this that I'm saying is rehashing on some of the stuff in the previous videos, but systems are a huge thing. Any farm that's going to be successful, or if you're going towards these big goal money numbers, is you've got to have systems in place that get you there. You have to price correctly. You have to just keep showing up every day. You can work your butt off for 6 months and really be at it, but if you can't show up every day and keep that going, then you burn out and you're done. Systems help a lot with that. Systems help put things in place that hopefully take some off of your plate, add some routine to the farm work, make it easier to share what you're doing with help that might be able to help you do that. So I'm a big proponent of systems. Always be looking at every enterprise, the systems within those enterprises, how you can improve them, how you can make them more efficient, how you can remove steps if possible, because that's really going to help you long term. One little change might not feel a lot, but you do that 100 times, that's huge change. So this whole video series, we kind of started from the beginning, farmer, to where we want to be. Modules 1 and 2, we talked about getting your mindset correct, making sure the family's on board, getting your financial house in order. Going in through 3, 4, and 5, we talked about using your community, your resources. There's a lot out there to help you as a starting farm or as an existing farm. We talked about legal structures, things to protect you as a business, as a farm. And then we did a whole module in 5 about knowing your number before you start. It's one thing to say, I want to make $100,000, but what you really need to do is start at, okay, what does it actually take? How many head of cattle do I need? How many do I have to sell in a year? If you're doing multiple operations, how many multiple animals of each operation do I need in some kind of combination to hit that number? So start where you want to be and work it backwards. 6 and 7, we got really into some of the nitty gritty of marketing your farm, pricing your products like they need to be priced, and how to deal with that when you get pushback, and also how to assess what's the right price for your farm. We also talked about getting in front of eyes. I think that's one of the most important videos I've done. You guys know that I do websites through Homegrown Hosting, and I have a questionnaire that the very first question is, what is the biggest frustration you're finding on your farm? And 90% of them are getting more customers. A website is great for reducing friction, making the ordering process easier. It's not necessarily going to find you customers. Again, that's a marketing thing. So whether it's a website, whether it's your farm, whether it's your Facebook, you've got to get that stuff in front of eyes, and you have to find ways to do that. There's not a cookbook way to do it. Social media, church, work, farmers markets. This is part of a business, is you have to figure these things out sometimes. I share on this channel what we've done and what's worked for us, but again, it's different for all farms, and I'm sure there's people out there that have way better ideas than what I've shared on this video. Follow other farms. You can learn a lot from them. Then modules 8, 9, and 10, we talked about how to bundle your products. That helps you, again, market your products better. We talked about getting your time back. Huge on the farm, because there's never enough time to do everything. And then we talked about, too, removing the friction from buying, making it super easy for people to actually buy when they're able to do that. It's another big thing I see with a lot of farms is they get the customers in, but then it's really complicated to get from paying to the product to the customer actually getting their product. And it's a lot of work for you that, again, going back to systems, if we can get some systems in place for that, that gets on autopilot. You don't even have to worry about that anymore. So this final video is really taking all of those video modules, tying it in together, and providing a 10,000 foot view of where you're starting to where you want to be. I used the $100,000 number as an example just because it's a round number, it's a big number, but it would be different for every farm. You may have a totally different number you're trying to achieve. Just to share a little bit with you, at Longbottom Farm, again, we've been doing this for 10 years, and I've actually scaled back a lot of what we're doing. This past year, we made $70,000. It's way down from the 170s, 180s that we've hit previously. Our operating margins, or what we're making after, was generally running around 25%, which is pretty good. But we're now actually hitting around 40%. Again, part of that is because we're into doing some more service-based stuff now that adds in. So the cost of goods for that are a whole lot less than you having to buy inventory and sell it. So last year we profited around $30,000 for our farm after all was said and done. And part of that is because for our farm, it's what I named this channel, the Part-Time Farmer. Talking about this whole video, chasing $100,000, we've learned that you can burn yourself out. You can take something you really love and turn it into something that's not so much fun anymore. The whole point of the part-time farmer is that you farm, you enjoy it, and it serves you, not you serving it. I still work part-time as a PA. I love that job. I don't want to quit it. I also have homegrown hosting, which is where I design websites for farms. I love doing that because I feel like that's something I'm really doing that can help farms. And we even have a third little business we're starting with my daughters where we're selling Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards and comic books. Again, this is a hobby, but for us, it's a thing to teach them some about entrepreneurship. They've done the farm, they've sold lemonade and eggs and stuff at the farm stand. This is another little business venture that we're doing together, not to make money, for a hobby, and for them to learn a little bit about what it's like to run a business. A lot of these things I'm talking about, revenue, profits, taxes. The whole point that I'm trying to get across is that you probably have other interests as well besides just farming. You know, you may be into hunting, fishing, you may be into rock climbing. Sometimes going for a crazy high number with the farm means you won't have time to do those things anymore. That's what we learned. That's what I learned, was that I was spreading myself so thin that I didn't have time to pursue these other things. That's why I wanted to share my revenue number with you this year, because we did. We backed down, and I am way happier for it. You know, and $30,000, you know, that's a good margin. That's almost over a part-time job there by itself. And that allows me, though, to also farm in a way that's not killing me. It's not killing my family. We still have time to go to karate. I have time to pursue these other things. And that's what I really want for small farms. I know there's a lot of farms out there that hate their jobs and they're looking at the farm as a way to get out of that job. My advice would be to just find another job. You know, and I know that's hard if you've been doing one thing for a long time, or you went to college and that's what you have your degree in. But at the same time, at least in my experience, trying to grow a farm to get rid of that job or just to replace that, I think you're going to find that you're working so much into that that you're just going to get burnt out. The fact is that, and I try to discourage farmers from this. I did an email about this in the Part-Time Farmer a few weeks ago about not quitting your day job. That's not going to help you do your farm any better. That's not going to help you get anywhere you want faster. And if it's really about the job you have that you don't want to be in, again, you have other options. Just like you're starting a farm, there's other options to make money. And that's one thing the farm has taught me. That was my first real business venture, entrepreneurial endeavor. But it's taught me now that, you know, we're doing websites, we're selling cards. You know, there's so many ways out there to make money. So you have to do it in a way that just serves your life, that makes you not so burnt out that you can't do the things you enjoy, and that still gives you the freedom to do the things you want to do with that farm. So to end this series, this isn't a series or a video about go get them, go make $100,000, quit your jobs. But it is to say, yes, $100,000 is definitely worth chasing, but only if you know what you're building and what it's costing you to get there. And I don't mean just money, but I mean in time and sanity and the other things that you want to do. Some people will watch this and realize that maybe the farm business isn't the right idea right now, and that's totally fine too. Even when things seem like they don't work out, it teaches you something about yourself you're gonna carry that forward into the next thing that you do. Some of you may watch this video and now you're more ready than ever, and great on that too. One quick thing to do this week that may tie all this together is take out a piece of paper and write down 3 numbers: your target revenue, your estimated operating cost, and the income that you actually need to support your household to live on. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this will give you a good general idea of the goal that you want, what it's going to take to get there, and then once you're there, is that going to support the lifestyle that you have? Either way, just doing this little exercise, you're probably ahead of 80%, 90% of the farms out there who never run the numbers. So in conclusion, everything that we just talked about in this video series, the numbers, the math, the philosophies, it's not to make you feel like you need to go bigger. The happy place on our farm is not chasing huge numbers. It's raising good animals. It's doing it in a way that's not burning us out. It's raising the animals we want to raise and not just chasing numbers. And I feel this is the best way to go about it. And then if you want to grow from there. You'll be making a few hundred, a few $1,000s, and you'll be loving it. And because you're not making big numbers, that's not failure. That's the whole point. The farm doesn't have to be a big business empire. It doesn't have to replace your job. It doesn't have to scale. The only thing it needs to do is be something that you're proud of and something that you and your family can enjoy. Some of you will use this video series to build $100,000. Awesome. Some of you will use this video series to sell a couple dozen eggs at the farmer's market a week. Awesome. Don't let the numbers in this video, or anyone else's farming content for that matter, convince you that the version of farming that you love isn't enough. The whole Part-Time Farmer channel, it's not a stepping stone. It is the destination, at least for our farm, and we found that that's good enough. That's what we're happy with. So that was the last video. That doesn't mean we're not doing more videos. I'll still have more farming videos coming. In the meantime, if you're already selling and tired of managing orders manually or paying a percentage of every sale you make to another company, fill out the 5-minute questionnaire at Homegrown Hosting. I'll send you a custom plan for your farm within 24 to 48 hours that'll work for you while you're sleeping or you're out farming. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Previous videos are listed below if you missed them, and we'll catch you in the next one.